still standing. One just passed away. So that's a big success rate for 30 people in the house and 28 still standing. This thing works. On another note is we had just a regional gaps analysis on the PPG, and I went and I sat and I talked to Dan O'Connell, was the deputy director at AIDS Institute, and I said one of the gaps is they keep giving inmates coming out of prison in New York $40 and a bus ticket. They say have a nice day. All right? So if I'm an inmate and I go to what we have in New York, it's called transitional services, and I say, well, give me Osborne's number, give me WPA's information, and they give you all that, and they say, okay, but they don't call Osborne, they don't call WPA, they don't make the linkage. And so the person, by the time they get from, I'm talking about women, Albion, which is Western New York, to Manhattan, their $40 is, I need some cigarettes, dang, I don't know what I'm going to do, how am I going to get there, I need a beer, I'm stressed. By the time they get up to Port Authority, they're looking for the deal. And I know so many girls who got arrested right there at that Port Authority 3 weeks later because they never made it out of there. They never made it out of there. So what I thought about doing was mirroring something that another agency in Brooklyn does, which is called Women's Prisons Association, and kind of mirroring what they do. Go into the facility using the comprehensive risk counseling services model from the CDC. Go into the facility, meet that person, and have a workshop first. Then it's piloted now for the Capital District area only. I one-on-one the person who's coming back to the Capital District area. Sit down and say, listen, do you want this? Are you ready? Let's go. Before they hit the street, I have everything. There's not a I that's not dotted and a T that's not crossed. There's no excuses. You can't come to me and say, well, Ronnie, can't do this, I can't do that. There's no excuses. I wipe away the excuses. I pick them up at the bus station. I'm not giving you a moment to think. I'm there, waiting. I'm waiting for you at the bus station. I'm going to take you to see parole. I'm already had 1,000 conversations with your parole officer. Then I'm going to take you to the place where you're going to reside. Then if you have to go home to get some clothes, I'm going to take you there. And then you're going to come back that night. Because at least I'm getting you from point A to point B. And for 90 days, I follow that person. Now I'm down here. And yesterday I called one of my clients. Hey girl, what you doing? What you up to? And she was at a birthday party. The day went well. But it's still that, we good. I'm making sure you all right and you okay. And that's what people need. And that's what, I know it's like a hard thing to ask. It's like we're only one person. But if each one of us took one person and did that with, look how many people we just killed. You know what I mean? And each one of us tells another person, this is what works. It works.
Can I ask you a question? That is a beautiful concept, and we used to do that. What funding stream do you have that enables you, number one, to go inside to intensive case management piece, and then provide the transportation, and then that link to housing upon exit? What funding stream are you using for that?
What I did was, like I said, I went to the deputy director of the AIDS Institute. He was extremely sensitive to the gaps. He's very big on let's close these gaps. So he funded the AIDS Institute, Department of Health and AIDS Institute, funded it. Only as a pilot for right now, just started July 1st. And so for right now, and I'm hoping by end of July, if I have a success rate that I can take back to them and say, look what happened. They told me, you show me, and we'll continue it, we'll expand it. Because I want to see it first with women. I need to say that. I need to say I want to see it first with women because this is way too many male programs. And I have the issue with the fact that for years they've been throwing money into male programs and forgetting that maybe if you empower these women, something else might change. Because for years we're seeing that this just doesn't work. The men still doesn't work. So I want to see it piloted at all 5 female facilities in New York State. Right now it's totally targeted toward Willard Correctional Facility, which is a drug treatment facility. It's still prison, but it's a drug treatment facility, which means they have a substance abuse issue. If they're HIV positive or not, they have a substance abuse issue. So once I get them out, and my part of it is funded through the AIDS Institute, the automatic linkage, because I'm working here, but I also work for Father Young. That's a given. That's a given. So whatever beds I need for this one pilot program, I've been assured that I'll have no matter where it is.
Wow.
So no matter where
That's
it is,
awesome.
he said if there's not a bed, we'll make a bed. There'll be a bed. So parole, that was the next hurdle. I had to get parole, and I think sometimes we don't step into our blessings. Let me just say that, because I just looked and said I have Barry Wilson, who's a definite resource, and I just used my resources. I did well on parole my last time, so why don't I use my parole officer to say, can you write this letter for me to say that you feel I can do this? And he did that for me. So now I have the director of parole reentry in New York State pushing for our program to come in here and saying, we approve them to be our liaison for reentry for parole. So now I don't have to go to the parole officer and say, can you approve this? Because it's already pre-approved in parole. There are no barriers. There are no barriers. None.
Just the other part of that is that we have, each jurisdiction is very different, and the New York State Department of Health it has an $85 million prevention and care program. Now, one, because it's an epicenter, this is California, and so there's something attached to that, but I say that to say we have a criminal justice initiative. So when you talk about supporting types of activities like this, we've been doing the criminal, working with the criminal justice population and like for 15 years. And CDC had a demonstration project, and we were part of that, where they focused on criminal justice. And that was very supportive and so some relationships were built with parole, with other treatment facilities, with OASIS, which is the Office of Substance Services. So all of these things are not in isolation, and that's how the blessing came into being. And of course, if someone can add something new to that experience, is very helpful, like hearing from a peer.
And to further it, I just said, okay, that's criminal justice initiative for me, Institute. And I looked at it and I said, it's a whole faith-based piece that nobody's really taking a look at. So when I get off at 5, I'm back on again, working on faith-based initiatives. So, you know, whatever faith you are, I tapped into my church and I said, what can we do to assist what I'm doing over here?